Delegates have been debating food security issues. Agriculture plays a vital role in job creation in South Africa and has brought in over 43 billion rand in export revenue over the past 3 years. President Matamela Ramaphosa set to deliver the keynote address, but he will not be speaking anymore. That's what we understand. eNCA reporter Moloko Moloto is on this story, and he's joining us now just to give us the latest and update from there. Quite a busy schedule, it looks like, quite a busy agenda, but of course the impact on the agricultural sector of the load shedding that Eskom has been practicing also came up today. Moloko, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Braden. Indeed, a two-day Congress of Agri South Africa, which has brought together leaders of the unions or stakeholders in the farming sector together here in Pretoria to discuss challenges that are faced by the agricultural sector. The President, Cyril Ramaphosa, was meant to open or deliver a keynote address here this morning, but he did not show up. Instead, that address was delivered by Minister Thoko Didiza of Agriculture and Rural Development. And in the main, she was really talking about the significance and the importance of the agricultural sector, saying that farmers and the farm workers are the lifeblood of this economy, and also commending them for really continuing to work at the time when South Africa was placed under hard lockdown, right at the heart of COVID-19 restrictions. Now, obviously, some of the people actually who were here participating included the Chief Executive Officer of Transnet, Portia Debbie, who had to speak about the role that Transnet plays in the transportation through rail of the products that are produced by farmers. Obviously, with the ongoing strike at Transnet, she acknowledged that some of the products that are produced by farmers are non-durable goods, so perishable in other words, and she obviously has said that her hope is that the strike will end soon. But now the Chief Operating Officer of Eskom, Mr. Jan Obelholzer, was also among the people who spoke here. The issue of load shedding was also top on the agenda, and he has said, Braden, that as Eskom, they are intending to retire at least 9 of the 13 coal-powered stations in South Africa in the next 10 years. And they will be relying on what he calls a mixed or hybrid energy system that will include the renewables, but also they will be extending the lifespan of the Kubeka nuclear power station in Cape Town by additional 20 years. So he's saying that Eskom will require about R1 trillion for it to eliminate all the power crisis this country is facing. Now, when it comes to load shedding, Mr. Obelholzer says he believes that load shedding is here to stay at least for a year or a year and a half. Let's listen to him.
And I do apologize for the load shedding. I take my job very serious. I am accountable for the operations of Eskom. I don't shy away from that. So, and also, you know, in the absence of my colleagues in Eskom, especially in the generation environment, I'd like to thank them for the very hard work, the dedication of the Eskom colleagues, also on the wire side of the business. It's very tough. So I would like to pay and tribute to them and say thank you to them in their absence, because they deserve that, believe me. So thank you.
Okay, and that was a bite there of Mr. Obelholzer Moloko thanking and apologizing and thanking the people of Eskom, the staff of Eskom, in doing the work that they do under difficult circumstances. But there are other stakeholders who are participating at this annual Congress. You've mentioned the Minister of Agriculture, that's Thoko Didiza. But the Freedom Front Plus is represented there by Peter Groenewald, who also had some strong views about what's happening currently, especially around the strike at Transnet.
Absolutely. Some of the people here include the Member of Parliament from the Democratic Alliance, Mr. Masipa, You would recall that he is part of the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture and Land Reform, but also from the Freedom Front Plus, Dr. Peter Groenewald, who obviously has enormous interest in the farming sector. He is lamenting the fact that the workers at Transnet have decided to go on strike, saying that they are not showing sensitivity to the challenges that South Africans are faced with regard to the sluggish economy. But also the issue of the expropriation bill, Brad, and you will recall that Parliament recently adopted the expropriation bill, which gives government more power to expropriate land without compensation. Now, the Freedom Front Plus is one of those parties that have objected to the passing of that bill. He's essentially calling on the president not to sign it off, but to send that bill to the Constitutional Court instead, so that he can be sure that it passes the constitutional muster. But let's listen to him as he was talking about the Transnet strike that he says is impacting negatively on the economy of the country.
Everything is negative for the agricultural sector. I mean, you're talking about the strike. They cannot export their products. We're not even talking about the potholes and the conditions of our roads to our harbours. And I must be very clear on this. I think the workers are very insensitive when it comes to the economy and the circumstances of the economy and the state of economy in South Africa. I don't say that they must not have an increase. Yes, they can have an increase, but to ask for 12 to 13%, I think it's not realistic, and I don't think that is really sensitive towards all the people in South Africa as far as economic growth is concerned, because we must remember, the economy must grow so that we can create jobs. Unemployment is a big threat for the future of South Africa.
That's Peter Groenewald of the Freedom Front Plus, ending that update from Moloko Moloto about the annual Agri SA Annual Congress.